Welcome to the Unused Content and big changes that happened in the project. Here we will briefly look at what ended up being in the final animation and big changes during development. So, let's get started. I created a grass variant that will be applied in Kingdom's Edge, but in the end I decided that it was not necessary for the scenes where the hoopers and primal speed appeared. Also two other grass variants with leaves for green path and crossroads, but at the end I liked it more the look of just the simple grass variants, leaving these other two out. The last resource that I left out that complemented the scene was the simple spider that walked across the screen in deepness. I also thought of something similar but with a Vengefly for crossroads, but I left it just as a thought. This render was the first time I played with the post-process filters, and it was made as soon as I was done animating this file, which was the first one I finished. I wanted to have a clear idea of how it would look with this style when I concluded everything. If you look closely, you can notice that the camera was further away from the characters compared to the final result. And the camera movement overall is more choppy. That was because I forgot to polish both the camera and the character's movement. In fact, polishing the camera and character's movement was a huge change. Look at this comparison. I realized that almost all 50 files needed polishing when I was animating the second to last scene. I wasted almost all the time. I was more concerned about finishing each scene as fast as possible, that polishing everything was not even a thought until the very end. However, I'm glad I realized that and polished everything, because even though it was quite tedious, polish all those scenes, in the end they look so much better and are more enjoyable to watch. This would be Spiny Husk if he had not been forgotten and included in the fight in the Queen's Garden. By the way, there was other books and places that were not included but were planned. They were Great Husk Sentry, Crystal Crawler, Moss Charger, God Tamer, Broken Vessel, The Collector, and Watcher Knight. 40 scenes were places in the Beast, Coliseum of Fools, and the Ancient Basin. All those were planned but cancelled before starting to model or texture them. This is the first render I did immediately after finishing the model and the first texture of the night. I even pixelated it, and the background was a random image I got from the web. The Dream Nail was planned and modeled, but never used as I did focus more on traveling the world and fighting. But the symbols recycled to appear at Dreamers and Radiance encounters. Here we have the first version of the night. I really think that the second version improved a lot and left this first one as a beta version. And to make it clearer, let me show you the second and final version of the night to compare them side by side. One aspect of the night that didn't make it into the final animation are his wings. I animated them, but I feel they were not necessary and didn't include them in any scene. I like it better to see the knight being hit by jumping just once. The knight's nail was also changed with his second version, and I really think this was the biggest change for him. The first one looks pretty ugly, to be honest. The final version is so much better and I like it a lot. Finally, let me show you the motion test animation I made for the knight when I finished his animations. You might spot minor changes with the final animations. And that's it for this brief trip with changes and unused stuff in the Hollow Knight animation. There are not many things because I wanted to implement all the things I made. This was definitely a poorly planned animation, but I learned a lot that will make the next remake flow like water, and will definitely improve in efficiency and the time it will take to finish. If you have suggestions of how to improve this section, please leave a comment down below, and thank you so much for watching.